To get a band 7 in grammar, you need to use a variety of complex structures. So in this video, I'm going to show you some different sentence structures you can use to increase your grammar score. You can use these in both speaking and writing. So let's start with structure number 1. So this is the first one here, as a or as an noun. So you could say something like as a teacher, as a young person, and then you just keep going. You give a full sentence. Now we use this one to show who somebody is or to show a point of view. And you can use this one to talk about yourself, or you can use it to talk about other people. Let me show you some examples. As a teacher, I. So we're using this one to talk about ourselves. I enjoy helping my students succeed. As a university student, he. So we're using this one to talk about him or someone else. He has to manage his time carefully. As a parent living in a busy city, I. So again, we're using it to talk about ourselves. And just note here how we've said as a teacher, okay, that's just one word. We've said here as a university student, that's 2 words. And then here we've got a phrase, okay, as a parent living in a busy city. So it's really up to you how short or how long you want to make this little bit here, this noun or this phrase. So as a parent living in a busy city, I often worry about how my children spend their free time. So this is a great grammar structure to use to show who somebody is. Let's move on to structure 2. This second one is without plus noun or verb ing. So for example, you could say without water, because obviously water is a noun. For a verb ing, maybe you could say going. Okay, without going, We use this one to show what happens if something is not there, if we don't have it. So let's have a look at some examples. Without money, it's difficult to travel abroad. So what we're saying is if we don't have this money, well, it's difficult to travel abroad, okay, because that money is not there, so it's difficult to travel abroad. Let's look at the next one. Without regular exercise, people often feel tired and unhealthy. So again, we're saying if this thing is not here, what is the result? What happens next? And finally, without government support, many small businesses would not survive in today's economy. So this structure is really, really great to use if you're trying to talk about something that is not there. Let's move on to structure 3. This third structure is 2 plus verb 1. Here are some examples of verb 1. Go, run, drink. Okay, very simple, just verb 1. Now we use this one to explain the reason or the purpose for doing something. Let's have a look at some examples. To stay fit. Okay, note here how we've got stay, which is a verb 1. I go jogging every morning. Okay, so we're talking about the purpose of this jogging here. Next one, to reduce pollution. More people should use public transport. And finally, the last example here, to create a more equal society, the government needs to improve access to education. So this is a great one to use. You have 2 plus verb 1, and then note you have a comma. Okay, remember that comma. Then you have a full sentence. Structure number 4. This next one is verb plus ing or a gerund. So for example, going, maybe drinking, maybe eating. Okay, all of these, we've got go, drink, and then eat. These are the verbs. And then we add the ing. Now we use this one to create a subject. So let me show you an example. Reading helps me relax. Well, in this sentence here, reading is the subject. But if we just say read helps me relax. Well, this is not correct because read is verb 1 and read isn't a subject, okay? We need to use a gerund. We need to use a gerund because a gerund acts as a noun. And to have a subject, you need to have a noun. Next one, learning a new language can open many doors in the future. Now, as you will see for this one, we do not have a comma after the gerund. We just have a verb. We keep going. So this is not the same as the previous structures because for the previous structures, we've always had a comma after the first little bit. And the last one here, living in another country can completely change the way people see the world. So just remember, if you're using a verb at the start of a sentence and it's the subject here, the subject, you need to have an ing. Structure 5. This next one also involves a verb ing, but we say by plus verb ing. Now we use this one to show cause and effect. So doing one thing leads to a result. So something happens first and then it causes something else to happen. So for example, by sleeping earlier. So you can see here that we've got that ing, okay, sleeping. You'll feel more energetic in the morning. Okay, so sleeping earlier, that is the first thing. Okay, that's the cause. And then you'll feel more energetic. Well, that is the result. Okay, so we're showing what happens next. Next one, people can reduce stress by spending time in nature. Now note here with this one, we've got by plus verb ing in the middle of a sentence. So it's up to you. You can use this structure at the start of a sentence or in the middle. And the final example here, by recycling regularly, communities can reduce waste and protect the environment. So this is a great structure to use, by plus verb ing, to talk about cause and effect. And also we can use by plus verb ing to show how something is done. Structure 6. This next one is the more, the more, So we would have to put something in here and in here. This structure is used to show how two things are related or how are they connected with each other. So let's have a look at an example. The more you read, the more you learn. So you can see here we've got the more bit, and then we've got extra information where these dots are up here. And then same again, we've got the more, and then we've got more information where these dots are up here. So this is saying, or this is showing how if you read more, well, you're going to learn more. It's showing how these two things are connected. Now let's look at the next one because it's a little bit different. The more people use cars, the worse the traffic becomes. So for this one, we're saying more, okay, that's going up. And then here we're saying worse. So we're saying it's getting more bad. So you'll see here that you don't always have to say more and more. You can change the word depending on what you're trying to say. Last one, the more time children spend on social media, the less they interact with their families. So for this one, more time, well, that's going up. But then it says less, well, that's going down. So for this one, we're showing the relationship by saying if one thing goes up, well, the other thing goes down. So this is a great grammar structure you can use to show how two things are connected. Structure 7. Instead of plus noun or verb ing. So for example, we could say instead of would. Okay, would is a noun, or verb ing. Maybe we could say doing. Okay, doing is a verb ing. Now this one here is used to show contrast or a difference or a better alternative, a better choice. So let's have a look. Instead of watching TV, note here how we've got ing, okay, watching. I prefer reading books. Okay, so we're showing a better alternative. This person's saying that for me, reading books is better. Instead of driving, again, verb ing, people should try cycling short distances. Now, you'll see with these first two, okay, these ones here, they are at the start of a sentence. For this last example, we've got the structure in the middle. So we've got schools should teach students real life skills instead of only focusing. Okay, there's that verb ing on exams. So note with this one that you can use it at the start of a sentence or in the middle. Structure 8. Because of or due to plus noun or verb ing. So again, maybe we could say water, that's a noun. Verb ing, maybe we could say driving. Okay, that's a verb ing. For this one, we use it to explain the cause or the reason behind something. So for example, because of the rain, okay, that's the cause. We stayed at home. Okay, that is the result there. Okay, that has happened because of the rain. Next one, due to. Okay, so now we're saying due to, not because of. Rising prices. Many young people can't afford to buy a house. So this rising prices is the cause of many people not being able to, or not being able to purchase a house. And last one here, because of globalization, people around the world are becoming more similar in their lifestyles. And please note that with these ones, you can use all of these in the middle of a sentence. So if you look at this one here, due to, well, we could say many young people can't afford to buy a house due to rising prices. So you could swap the phrases there or the clauses and put this grammar structure here, number 8, in the middle. Structure 9. Although or even though. This is a great phrase you can use to connect two contrasting ideas. Contrasting ideas, that just means two ideas that are different. So for example, although I'm busy, I always make time for my family. So these two things are different. Okay, busy normally means you don't have time, but then we say make time. Okay, so they're different ideas. And remember, that's why we use this phrase, okay, contrasting ideas, different ideas. Even though public transport can be crowded, it's still cheaper than driving. So some public transport being crowded, that's sort of a negative thing. But if we say it's cheaper, that's sort of a positive thing. Okay, so they're contrasting ideas. They are different. And last one here, although technology makes life easier, it can also make people more dependent on their devices. So again, we've got a positive with a negative. Structure number 10. In order to plus verb 1. Remember, verb 1 is just a simple verb with no ing. So for example, go, run, walk. We use this one to show why someone does something or the purpose. For example, in order to lose weight, I started going to the gym. So we're talking about why someone is doing something. And the reason for this one is losing weight. Okay, that is the purpose. Next one, in order to save money. Okay, that's the purpose. Many people choose online shopping. And finally, in order to protect the environment, governments should invest in renewable energy. Again, similar to the last one, you could put these phrases here in the middle. So we could say government should invest in renewable energy in order to protect the environment. That's fine as well. So this is a great phrase to use. It's very, very professional, and we can use it to talk about the purpose. So they were 10 complex sentence structures to improve your grammar score in IELTS. If you want to learn how to write complex sentences in IELTS or for IELTS, check out this video right here. I really hope this video was useful for you. Take care and see you next time.